and then put me on. Let's see.
I'll put G-Ditch on.
Yeah, so we have to do this. Yeah, we're real sharp here with technology. We are the best.
Unmuted.
That's probably why I was getting all the feedback. So to go to the G-Ditch one and add spotlight. There we go. Now we want to go to pin. There we go. Well, sorry guys, we're okay. I had this figured out like an hour ago. I swear I did. I promise. I'm not trying to waste anybody's time here. Well, here, go ahead. I let a 15-year-old do this. They know better than I do. Okay. Get this thing on full screen. All right. So introduce yourself.
I am Will Fiedler. I'm part of the club program. I'm taking the class. I took Auto 1 last year. I'm going to be continuing the Auto classes 2 and 3 this year and next year. I'm here to give you a shop tour and show you around our projects briefly. So to start, these are our tire machines. We both have a balancer and we can mount tires as well. We've got our oil filter cabinets, so we can obviously do oil changes if need be. This is our S10, which we are going to be basically turning into a race truck. It is halfbacked, and right now it's got a 350 in it, Chevy 350, which we are going to be rebuilding to push some power. Moving on, we have one bend pack lift and 2 rotary lifts, making 3 bays. If we need to lift 3 cars, if need be. This is our GTO, which is a 6.6 liter LSX with a Magnuson blower on it. I'll be touching on this engine and where it's going briefly. Over here, this is sort of where we build our engines and our workspace for diving in, which I'll be getting to later. This is our GMC
Caballero. The El Camino.
Yes. Which we're going to put the LSX and the GTO into here. That's going to be next year's project. This is down there is our robotics section. We share that section with the school's robotics team, and we also have welders and fabrication equipment.
Show them what we got going on here.
This is an LS that we're going to be possibly swapping in later on, a little down the road, putting into the S10, and possibly boosting and making even more power than you know what to do with. Over here, this is where we're laying out the engine equipment from the Mustang. And
So let's get into the Mustang engine, and you can explain some of the tech specs and what we have going on here, Will.
so stock, this was a 302 engine, which we have bored out to 306 with 30 over pistons. We're putting all aluminum heads in, and both the block and the intake and shared with some other parts. They are from a Ford Explorer, but the Ford Explorer and some other V8 Ford share the same equipment from Cobras, which is why we're using it. So this is
let's explain what we have going on here with the 2 different intakes and why they're different.
So this is the stock intake manifold from the Mustang. This is from an Explorer or Cobra. And you can see the intake runners are much larger and much more free flowing than the stock Mustang, which more air, more boom, more power. We're also using a 70 millimeter intake instead of the 65 that was stock from the engine. We're looking for about stock. It was 208 in terms of horsepower, and we're looking for about 350.
I want to show them here what you have going on with your little piston collection.
These are our piston and rods. Like I said before, they're 30 over, so a little bit make the engine a little bit bigger, and in terms of displacement, from 302 to 306.
All right, let's jump over here. Can we plug that speaker in so that we maybe have see if we can get our sound to function correctly? Okay. I have to mute this one. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out my phone app here as we go through. Actually, Will, if you want to sit down right here, I'm making everybody dizzy, I'm sure. We'll just go straight to this. Okay. You want to have a seat there into the camera and take questions?
One more thing, which everybody will be touching on later. This is the 95 Mustang that that's sponsored with CarParts.com that I'm sure you guys have heard about. And everybody else that's standing beside me, huddled in the corner, will be talking about as well.
All right. If anybody's got any questions for Will, fire away.
I'll just start off by saying, Will, nice job, man. Even today, knowing components and whatnot, that's not necessarily my wheelhouse. I do a lot more of the social media and public relations side of it. So I wish I knew half the stuff that you just talked about. And, it sounds like you've learned a lot in the program. So great job, man. That's really awesome. What would you say is your favorite aspect so far that you've really learned and your biggest takeaway in the program?
So in the program, Mr. Ditch has sort of opened the shop to new things. Obviously, we have plenty of project cars, which I love. I love building them and seeing the end result. But as far as the automotive sector, I like I want to become a tech when I'm older, and I like diagnosing cars that come in. It could just be from an oil change to tearing apart an engine and rebuilding it. I love that kind of stuff, and that's really what I want to go into.
That's awesome. It's really cool to hear.
Want to tell them about your job too?
Sure. I work at Naperville Italian Autos, which is a Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and Fiat dealership, right down the road from our school, actually. My official job is a porter, which is pretty cool to begin with, driving Maseratis and Alfa Romeos. But one of the main reasons why I got hired was because I get to spend time with the techs and sort of get a feel for what it's like to work in a professional environment and in a professional shop. And already from, I think it's coming up in a month that I've been working there, I've already learned a lot of stuff that is useful for my future career.
All right. This one is for anybody, I guess, but I guess, Will, you're the one sitting there. Which engine do you like better, the 5.0 or the LS?
Probably the LS. Are you talking about the one from the GTO? Because if so, definitely. I definitely like boosts, and superchargers are obviously the whine of them is just, it's different for me. LS all the way, yeah.
Good man. Good man.
All right.
Good.
Any other questions for Will, or we can jump into our next featured students?
Hey, Will, this is Michael. Have you always been a car guy, or is the school and the program what led you to be a car guy?
I originally started being a car. I found my passion with my grandpa. He's had several cars in his lifetime, and he kind of introduced me to the idea. And then video games like Forza Motorsport have expanded on that, where just the concept of driving cool cars on a track through a video game is um, pretty cool. And then once I got into high school and I got to be here in the shop, that's kind of when it took off, and I found exactly what I want to do. But obviously, still open to other ideas and other kind of fields within the automotive sector.
All right. We'll jump to Cody. I'll have you guys just switch places. We'll do the introduction, then we'll get into your part of the car. So I'll give a brief introduction, and then let Cody do his formal introduction. But Cody is one of our engineering students, and he is on the Tuesday build team. And the Tuesday build team is, and I guess I didn't get into this in the beginning, but we've got 4 different build teams on the car, and a lot of that has to do with social distancing and requirements that way. So we're breaking the kids into smaller groups, and then we're giving them each day an individual responsibility. So we have a Monday group responsible for the engine, Tuesday is the interior and electronics, Thursday is paint and body, and then Friday is the suspension and braking system on the car. So Cody is our lead for Tuesday, which is the interior. So introduce yourself. You can tell a little bit about what we've done, then I'll get the camera and follow you around, and then we can get into some demonstrations.
All right. So, hi, I'm Cody. I'm a sophomore here at Infil North, and like Mr. Ditch said, I work on Tuesday with the interior team. He says that I'm the lead, but I really have no experience with mechanics and cars. I just use this club as an experience to, find what my passion is with engineering, because I do love engineering, but I don't know exactly what kind. And so I'm just using this as a place to experiment with what kind specifically. And so with the interior team, we're working on a lot of things, but to name a few, we're working on adding new racing seats, adding LEDs, adding new carpeting. We're adding a stereo system, and we can show you some of that right back here.
Okay, let me jump over to the other view. Yeah, that's fine. We'll keep that camera on. Okay, so let's, somebody will kind of move the speaker up here so that they can hear us. All right.
Okay, so first thing we have right here, hit remove pin on the top left. There we go. Okay, so first thing we have right back here are the two seats. This was the seat that came with the car, and this is the seat we ordered. And if I could have my 2 volunteers, Nick and Nick, sit in the seat just to test them out.
I don't know if it's just me, but I think I lost the audio anyways. I don't know if anyone else is having the same issue.
Yeah, I don't have audio either.
Well, that's feedback. Okay, can you guys hear us now?
Yeah, gotcha now.
Okay. Okay. Unplug it. Yeah. That. Okay. All right.
So with the racing seat versus the commercial seat, obviously you can see that the racing seat has more protection, and when making those turns at high speeds, you have a less chance of falling out of the seat. However, with the commercial seat, you have making those turns at fast speed, you have a higher chance of falling out of the seat.
Do it again. Can you fall out of it?
No.
Michael, do you want these guys testing your seats for you?
I like it. You definitely don't want to fall out of the seat. That's for sure.
I can't hear. Hold on, we lost our audio on our end. Let me finish up with this and then we'll jump into questions and comments. Yep.
Next thing we have here is the roll bar. We're going to be adding this to the rear of the car for more protection and more structure. And if we go inside the car, we have here and here.
I'm a tech specialist.
So
Plug it in. That's all.
first thing we have is we remove the carpeting. We're going to be adding more carpeting. And then back here with the wood, we're building a rear seat delete, and with that, we're going to be adding a sound system to it with some really nice speakers. And then right in here, we're going to be replacing that with a digital dash and roughly just, making adjustments here and there.
Just, we're gonna clean it up and update it and make it look modern. We're gonna go from 1995 to 2010 to 2010. Geez, 2020.
And that also includes, we're going to be having LEDs. We're going to add an underglow with LEDs, and then we have some strobe lights coming. We're going to be adding strobe lights to the front headlights and the rear lights.
All right, let's do this. I'll flip around here so you can sit down in the hot seat and take some questions. Okay, that we're good, I think.
Yeah, I don't think the one
Jump
camera
in
is
here,
ever pinned,
like
Greg.
that.
It's bouncing between the two.
Okay. Can you guys hear us? Yeah, it's plugged in. Can you hear? Yeah, we've got.
No, because it's volume's off.
Oh, so we can't hear anybody talking to us.
It's coming through really distant.
How about now? Can you hear us?
Yeah, that sounds good. That's a lot better.
Perfect. All right. So we've got Cody up. You've got questions for him?
Hey, Cody. I have a kind of more or less actually asking if Michael can maybe touch on it a little bit. With race teams, we have a job responsibility, someone's called an interior specialist. So, Michael, maybe you can talk about that a little bit and just kind of explain how, we have someone full-time making sure that everything inside the car is good and whatnot, and kind of explain their role.
Yeah, we have somebody that puts in those racing seats so I can't fall out, which is an important aspect. But yeah, Tyler, who does our interiors, he loves it. He's very good at attention to detail. And when you have so many cars in the cycle that we have, I mean, everything has to be just right and they all have to be the same. So it's a time consuming job, obviously very important from the safety standpoint. So it's cool to see what you guys are doing there, though. It's when I was young, I got to build a few cars with my grandfather, and that's kind of how I got into automotive stuff as well. And there's nothing better, from the engineering standpoint, like you were talking about, is getting hands-on as well. Not only understanding the engineering aspect, but being able to work on the car yourself is really important.
All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, how much of the seats and things like that are direct replacements to the stock products, or are you going to have to fabricate things like seat rails and things like that?
All direct replacement.
Yeah, it's all direct replacement.
We do have I want to jump in real quick. So in the GTO project, we did have to do some fabrication on that, but with the aftermarket that's available, and that's one of the reasons why we took the 95 Mustang, was that there's just so much bolt-on stuff. So in the future, yeah, we'll probably get into, once these kids get a little more experience, we'll get into, probably some stuff that they can fab up. But for now, we're just trying to do some more basic things where they could bolt on and learn.
What's the goal of the car at the end? Obviously, it'll be a nice car, but is it to to take to a drag strip or to be a cruiser?
Oh yeah, we didn't cover that at all, did we? No, it's going to be autocross.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, just there's programs at the collegiate level. So this could be kind of a segue for them and see some of the college students competing in SAE. And also it's low cost, it's low speed, it's low impact. It's not going to destroy our car. So it's something that we'll be able to keep the car around for quite a while. Hopefully.
So a question for Cody. I'm an engineer. So what kind of engineering are you interested in?
Well, I definitely I got into engineering because my brother, he just graduated from University of Minnesota with aerospace, and I definitely see himself as like someone I see him as someone I can follow in his footsteps, but I don't think aerospace would be my type of engineering. I like the area I'm around, the environment, so I think mechanical engineering would be something promising, and I feel like just like right now, that's something that I think I would definitely want to get into.
Awesome. I'm a mechanical engineer. So, Greg, if you want, you can give him my contact info. And if you want to ask questions about engineering or anything like that, you can always send me an email and ask me, because I'm obviously in cars, but I'm also in engineering. It's a very grueling path, but it's definitely worth it. It's very fulfilling to realize all the things that you can make with your brain and with your hands and with a computer. So I encourage you to follow that path.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? We can jump on to our next guy. Okay, Tyler.
All right. So my name is Tyler. I'm part of the Thursday Paint and Body crew. I'm a junior at North, and I am in the auto club here. I'm not in any of the auto classes. I'm just in the auto club. So for the Mustang, we had the first thing we had to do was remove the core support because the Mustang had gotten in a front end collision, and the core support was completely destroyed. So we spent a couple of weeks trying to remove the core support so we can weld in a new one. Our current problem that we're facing is the frame is bent, so we will be sending it to a frame shop this week to get it bent back into shape so we can put our fenders back on it and make sure we have good fender fitment. Once we get all of that put back together and we get the core support welded on, we're going to get all the fenders put back on, and we are going to be painting it a satin black. We're going to be painting it in-house instead of sending it out somewhere.
And we're not a paint shop.
No, we're not a paint shop, so we'll figure it out as we go. But the whole goal is to paint it in shop so we can say that we did as much to this car as we can in our own shop.
So you said you guys are in a paint shop. Do you guys have a paint booth, or are you just gonna do have like a makeshift paint booth?
We do not have a paint booth. We're gonna have to make kind of a makeshift paint booth with tarps and stuff.
Trash bags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me jump over on the camera here, and then we can take a look at, you can walk them around the car a little bit as far as what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of the focus so far has been onto the front of the car. Obviously, we have removed the core support completely, and we have a brand new core support that we're going to need to be welding in. All the frame damage that we know of so far is focused on the front right of the car. The frame rail is not very bent, but there is enough bend, it's bent enough that the fenders are misaligned, so we're going to be sending it to a crank shop, like I said, to get those fenders aligned properly. The hood of the car that we have, we put a 2-inch cowl hood on it, and we're going to be putting heat extractors to help cool the engine down. This hood was made in Naperville, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so this hood is from a custom shop in Naperville that makes these hoods. So, you know, helping out kind of those small businesses around here. Moving around the side of the car, obviously you can see.
Hold on, let's go this time because you got the microphone there. Yeah.
Okay. We removed all the paint. We used paint stripper to remove the paint. We scraped off that, and then we used orbital sanders to sand down the rest of it. Like I said, we're going to be painting a satin black onto it. In the rear of the car, each side of the rear, there was small dents in it, so we had to Bondo it up. We're halfway through the Bondo process right now, and we will be using the next step is to use like a block sander and sand it down smooth so it doesn't look like anything's there. So, yeah.
Cool. Let me flip the camera around. There we go. All right. Tyler's on the hot seat, so feel free to ask away.
Hey Tyler.
Tyler.
Again, just wanted to kind of ask you a little bit about what your favorite part of the build process that you've been a part of that you've really enjoyed the most.
So far, my favorite part has just been working on the car. My favorite thing is getting my hands dirty and getting actual experience and working on the car. In the end of it, my favorite part will probably be seeing the entire thing finished and how everything's going to come together. But so far, it's been working on the car. I really enjoy working on the car.
That's awesome.
Well, let's get into, there's one aspect of why Tyler wants to do paint. So get into why you want to do painting and why the paint portion of it's important to you.
Yeah, so the paint portion, like I said, we're going to be doing it in shop, and I'm most likely going to be the person that's going to be painting it. The reason I want to paint it is because I want to get experience using a air gun and painting a car because at my house, we have a 1965 Mustang coupe, and it's going to be painted a pearlescent blue, and we're going to be doing that in our own shop. So I would like to get experience painting so I can make that paint job look as good as possible.
So
That's a good idea. Practice on somebody else's before you do yours. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said he can mess up this one and figure out how to do it right so that his car looks good.
Yeah. It's harder to mess up a satin black too. It's easy to mess up a pearlescent blue.
All right, let's jump into, now we'll go into brakes and suspension. Here.
Hey, Greg, just before you guys start this, I just want to let you guys know, Michael has an obligation at 3:15, so he's going to have to hop off at about 3:10. So I just don't want to cut you guys.
Not a big deal. Not a big deal. We're kind of getting close to the end anyhow, so I appreciate you coming on, Michael. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I'm enjoying it.
Okay. All right, so we'll jump into the brakes first. So actually, we'll do a quick introduction. This is Nick.
Hello, I'm one of the Nicks. I am a freshman at North. I currently taking an EDS class, Engineering and Design Studio. I'm currently taking that class, and next year I'm hoping for taking Autos 1 and Autos 2. I joined Auto Club mostly because I like working on things, and I wanted my future career is hopefully going to be engineering or in the engineering field. And I was thinking Auto Club could help me prepare for that.
All right, and Nick's going to tell us about brakes and what we're doing as far as swapping out the brakes on the car. So,
all right, so we're going to be
explain away.
All right, so we're going to be replacing all the brakes with Cobra brakes and a Cobra brake kit. As you can see, bigger brake kits allow better stopping power, and compared to like stock or OEM kits. We're going to be putting new calipers, new brake more grip brake pads, new rotors and everything. And basically we're just gonna convert this car so it can help slow down and be efficient on the track whenever we're on the track. That's basically what we're gonna be doing with this car.
Okay, and then I want to jump over to our other Nick, who's going to explain the springs that we're putting on the car.
The second part of the brakes and suspension team.
Let's introduce ourselves.
Oh yeah, I'm Nicholas Oblazny. I'm part of the Friday group along with Nick Gametti, and our team focuses on brakes and suspension. I'm a freshman here at North, and I'm also interested in engineering. Okay, then getting into suspension, we're going to be switching out this old suspension kit with a new one. This one's going to be much stiffer, and we're going to lower the car to prevent it from rolling when we're on the track.
So why is preventing body roll important?
Yeah, so we're going to want to prevent it because we want to have a lower center of gravity, because if we have a higher center of gravity, when we're on those tight turns, we know how the car can just roll and roll and roll going at high speeds.
Right, and we don't want that.
Yeah, we do not want that.
Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna flip around. You guys can take the hot seats. We will change here. All right, so we'll put them up for questions if you guys have any questions on what they're doing with suspension and brakes.
I got kind of a generic question for everybody. How many kids are in the total program, and what's the difference between being in the club and actually being in the, I forget how you guys said it, but taking the class?
Yeah, we have an engineering design studio class, which focuses on the engineering as a whole, and when we have like 3 auto classes. So me and Nick are in the engineering classes, and we have around 20 students in that one.
Yeah, I'll jump in and kind of go through the breakdown. So basically we've got an engineering program and we have an automotive technology program. So there's an Autos 1 and Autos 2, which is just a basic introduction to cars, maintenance. And the Autos 3 program is a year-long program. It's a double blocked. Those are for the kids that are like Will, that are a little more serious about becoming a technician. The club is after school, so it's not a requirement. They don't get a grade or anything like that. They show up because they want to show up. And a lot of our engineering kids are drawn into it simply because they want to get the hands-on and get some experience. Obviously, right now with COVID, getting on campus is kind of a tough thing, and it's even been sort of hard for us. So they've allowed the students to come in after school. So we've made a way for them to come in and learn and work on projects. So some of them will work on some of their engineering projects or engineering related projects that maybe not are even associated with this one, but these are the kids that are just tied to this. So they come sort of from all over the school and all different programs. So that's the difference between the club and like the class.
Got it. Cool. Thanks.
You bet.
So this is like the Nick and Nick show, huh? Nick Squared?
Yeah, we actually have a show called Nick Squared.
Yeah, we do.
All right, Nick Squared. Have you guys done any look into, now that you're going to lower the car, have you looked at the exact springs you wanted, or is there kits available for X amount lower equals this spring? And then obviously when you lower the car, cambers, things like that, that go into it specifically for the autocross stuff?
Yeah, so with the autocross, we're using this one. I think we're going to put them on all 4. And then we're going to have it around 2 inches above the ground, I think.
2 inches down.
Oh, 2 inches down, yeah.
So either Nick, question for you guys. Do you guys have a particular interest in cars, or was it because you wanted to do more of the engineering stuff, or a little bit of both, or are you more interested in cars now?
For me personally, I joined because I was a huge like engineering guy. I grew up loving planes, things like that. But as time went on, I slowly got into more engineering and started focusing on the different aspects of it. And then when I heard about that North offers an auto class, auto club and auto classes, I thought about taking that. So here I am taking auto club, and I'm planning on building my own car in the future. I'm hoping that this will help me prepare for it, and overall, yeah, it's helping me prepare for it.
I had almost the same story. My brother is an engineer right now in college, so he did Husky Robotics, which I also do. That got him interested in engineering and mechanical engineering. And what he was doing, I found I was interested in it, so I joined Auto Club and Engineering Design Studio and Husky Robotics. So almost all of us here have just same interest in engineering, and just kind of got in it to see if we like mechanical engineering and cars.
Awesome. Well, again, like my story is that I do have an engineering background, but I was into cars even before it, and going through engineering and working on cars at the same time really helped me understand each of the different aspects of engineering, whether it be like mechatronic systems with feedback loops, where you have like even cruise control is something like that, but you have suspension, so you have hydraulics and pneumatics, just mechanical systems with the linkages that are involved in cars. So I do think that if you stick with the automotive program, understanding the engineering concepts as you go through them will be a lot easier for you, and you'll get to go, oh, hey, like this thing that we're talking about engineering class reminds me of that thing that we did on a car. So I do think that you guys are doing a really cool thing by pursuing this while pursuing engineering.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll jump into the last part of our Q&A. Yes, all three of you. All three. They're scared to be apart. Have a seat. There. We'll just put the microphone down.
Oh God.
Or hold it. There you go.
You got it. You got it. Why am I holding it?
Okay, so these are our girls. They're in the Friday group. I'll let them do their introductions.
Oh, okay.
You do know your name, right?
Yes.
No. All right.
My name is Grace Carcello. I'm a sophomore at Naperville North. I'm Avery. I'm a freshman at North. I'm Lauren, and I'm also a freshman at North.
Okay, so they're on the Friday team, and they're going to be doing some of the aerodynamic parts of the car. So we're going to have them get into the aero components, so the splitter, the diffuser, and the spoiler. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let me flip the phone around here so that we can see it. Okay. Careful. Yeah. Let's get the speaker and microphone to speak up so that they can hear you.
So this is a front splitter, and it's aerodynamic component that's essentially going to create a balance between the rear and the front downforce. And so they're typically found in race cars. They look like this, obviously, and they're usually under the bumper right here.
Okay. So let me bring the microphone back. There we go. All right, so Lauren's going to explain the diffuser we're using, and I'll hold the microphone if you want to grab that diffuser and pull it up and explain what's going on.
Okay, so this is the rear diffuser. It goes underneath the back, and it helps with turbulence, airflow, and it helps the air go out and upward.
Okay, and why do we want the air to go out and upward? What are we trying to create? The D word.
Oh,
Downforce.
Downforce. There we go.
Okay. So this is our spoiler. It's going to be attached with the top of the rear of the car, and so that's going to further direct the air to create more downforce.
All right, and why do we want downforce? There's a G word. Grip.
Grip. Yeah.
Grip. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the phone is off. Okay.
All right.
Hi.
You guys didn't explain why you took auto club, so if you
Oh,
want to get
okay.
into a little bit of your background too, everybody else kind of gave a little background and tell what your goal is, and what your interests are and all that.
Okay, so once again, I'm Grace. I'm in the engineering design studio class, and so like every day Mr. Ditch was talking about this program, and so he sounded really invested and interested, and so from there I applied. I don't have any background experience with cars, but I thought this would like be a good opportunity to learn about them.
Okay, so again, also I'm Avery. I've always been interested in cars. I'm not currently taking any of the auto classes or anything like that. So I just joined the club to learn more about cars, and that's
Yeah, I'm Lauren. I'm not in any of the classes. I'm just in the club. And I joined because I wanted to explore my interests and also possible careers. So, yeah.
All right, if anybody's got any questions, you can get them a couple of questions.
Hey, Greg, I just wanted to introduce them to Kelsey Rawlings here. So Kelsey's a pro Formula Drift driver. So she professionally drives race cars, and she hangs out with me quite a bit, and we get to work on cars and stuff together. So I just wanted her to have a chance to interact with them and them to have a chance to interact with her.
Awesome, thank you.
I do have a question too for y'all. So now that you have been working on this car, Mustang, maybe you had interest in cars before, maybe you didn't. Do you think your interest has grown, and do you see yourself taking this further in the future?
I'm not sure about cars specifically, but engineering, like as a career field, is of interest to me. Yeah.
Awesome.
so my interest has not grown, but it's definitely like been more exciting to get a chance. Like I've always seen cars at like car shows and things like that, and this is the first time I've ever seen like firsthand how to make cars and how they work. So that was like really exciting.
What I've learned has definitely grown. I didn't know too much, but this has definitely helped. So yeah.
That's awesome.
What's your favorite part about Auto Club?
Lost the audio on my end, guys. I don't know if anyone else is having the same issue.
Okay, there we go.
Did I mute it? Should I go again?
Yeah, go ahead.
So my favorite part would be how we're doing different things every time. Like sometimes we're taking apart engines and cleaning them, or other times we're like taking the paint off cars, and it's always entertaining.
So kind of going off of what Grace said, it's like really cool. Like you never know what we're gonna do, but it's also like there's something for everybody. Like there's so many different parts to it that like one day we could be working on an engine, or just the other day we were just organizing things. So like there's just so many different aspects to it and so many different things you can be doing.
Yeah, like learning new things and just trying, like every day we get to try something different. So yeah.
Make sure I don't press that.
Okay, anything else? Any other questions? We can start wrapping up if there's nothing else. I know Michael's got a commitment here. Okay, let me grab the microphone. All right, that's it. Does anybody have any questions for any of our other students, or any comments for anybody?
Yeah, I gotta hop off here, but it's really cool what you're doing, and it's awesome that you get to invest in the students and teach them a not only a trade but also maybe a lifelong hobby. So it's cool to see your guys' community there, and thanks for having us on and being a part of it.
You're muted, Mr. Ditch.
They probably wish I would do that during class. No, we just appreciate all the input and help and everything that everybody's been able to do to make this program possible. It's pretty awesome, especially in these times where our kids aren't on campus. It gives them a positive place to go, and these are the students that really truly want to be here. So that's pretty amazing too. So we're, like I said, we get probably 30 to 35 kids throughout the week that come on various days, and they come in, they're done with their online learning around 2:00 in the afternoon, and they're here at 3:30, and we work to kind of whenever. And a bunch of them were up here on Saturday getting the shop organized and cleaned up. So it's been a lot of fun, and without support, we can't do it. So thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Greg. Yeah, on behalf of all of us at Front Row Motorsports, it was really cool and eye-opening, for myself especially. Like I said, that's not my wheelhouse so much, so it was really cool to learn a lot about the things that all of you guys have going on. And if there's anything we can ever do, Greg, you have my email, so please feel free to reach out if any of the students have any questions that we can kind of help answer.
Absolutely.
Whether it's, just about the cars, career-based, looking into the future, that anything we can help with, be certainly more than happy to do so.
Very good. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody's time. Why don't you give them a big thank you?
Bye.
All right, we're going to sign off, guys. Thank you. If anybody else needs anything, just shoot us an email.
Well, thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.